Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I could not be any more grateful. Tonight at 7 o'clock, if you are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, I want to encourage you to come on down and hang out with a group of like-minded drunks and drug addicts all sitting around talking shop, talking about all the stupid shit we did and how bad we felt about it, and talking about what we did to get clean and sober and how we're planning on staying clean and sober. Tonight at 7 o'clock, 5747 East Pea Ridge Road for our Crosstalk Friday, the quickest hour in recovery. No question about it, guys. It just flies by. Tonight at 7 o'clock, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church. We'll see you there. I've been doing a lot of reflection this last week or so. I'm coming up on my 3 years of sobriety tomorrow. I'm incredibly thankful and grateful for that 3 years. That's 3 years that God gave me that I wasn't supposed to have. So I'm incredibly grateful, and I've been doing a lot of reflection, if you will, over this last week. How well did I spend that last year? How well did I invest that last year of my life into helping others? And I keep going back to what the big book says. Chapter 7 talks about working with others. I'll never forget the first time I heard this in a room. We don't help other people to get them sober. We help other people for us to stay sober. And I remember what a paradox that sounded like. That was so weird. But now I got it, right? I finally got it, and it makes sense, and I see it. But there still are those instances where we get to help others and really help make an impact in other people's lives. Over this last year, especially this last winter, I'm able to look back at one specific example where we were able to, several of us in the recovery classroom, we were able to go into treatment facilities, rehabs, and share our own experience, strength, and hope, and communicate that message of hope, healing, and restoration that we all try to do. There was one standout moment for me that still to this day that I wanted to share with you. It's so profound, especially today, that I wanted to share this morning about. This is late November, early December of last year. We are in a treatment facility, and it was a very long, 2-hour segment series that we had put together, and we were in a break. And so while we're in this facility, I'm happen to be sitting there on the sofa. I'm just kind of making my notes, kind of thinking over things in my head. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to change? How are people responding? I'm thinking about all those things. And this gentleman comes up to me, one of the clients there in the treatment facility. He comes up, he says, "Can I talk to you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure." And he just kind of froze. And at that point, I realized he was nervous, he was apprehensive, maybe he didn't know what to say. And I saw everybody else around us, just kind of mingling around us. I said, "Let's go over here and talk." So we walked off to another room, and I said, "What is it you need to say?" He's like, "Well, I got some questions. I just don't know how to ask them, don't know how to speak. I'm not really good at talking." I said, "Okay, well, let's see what you got. Just try your best." And as he's talking to me, I'm looking, and I notice his allergies must be acting up because he's getting tears in his eyes. And my first thought was, oh shit, do I need my allergy medication, right? Oh my God. Am I going to start having my eyes swell up, right? And he started trying to relate to me. He was picking up what we were putting down. He was believing what we were sharing, that there is hope, that no matter how far down the scale you have gone, there is hope, right? And he started wondering, he started asking me questions. He goes, I want to get sober. He said, I'm sober now because obviously I'm here. He said, but I just don't think I'm worth it. And I was like, why don't you think you're worth it? And he proceeded to tell me. At that point, I realized those allergies were not allergies. He was truly upset. He was truly broken. And he's looking me dead in the eye. And he tells me, he said, my whole adult life, practically my whole adult life, I've been institutionalized, either in treatment facilities or in prison, in jails, in just the worst circumstances ever. He's like, I have fucked up so many things in my life, I don't even think I'm worth it. And by this point, these so-called allergies are now full-fledged tears streaming down this man's face. Everything I'd been worried about up to that point was totally gone. I realized at that point I was serving my purpose. I was communicating with this guy, with this young man, a message of hope, healing, and restoration. I was letting him know that hope is possible, that recovery is possible, because he just didn't think he was worth it. And I remember I just hugged him, put my arms around him, and I just hugged him. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, man. And I just kept telling him, you are worth it. You are absolutely worth it. There's nothing that you've done in your life that is so bad, that is so terribly bad, that would make you not worth it. You are absolutely worth being able to enjoy a clean and sober life. And we sat and talked for probably about another 5 or 10 minutes. I was late getting back from the break, actually. And we walked back in and we started the second half of the series. And, I gave him my contact information and told him, asked him to stay in touch. He ended up moving on to a couple other different facilities, a couple different treatment centers, and into a sober living. He segued into a sober living facility. And I saw him a couple times even since then, just not too terribly long ago at church even. And said, hey, how you doing? How's life going? And he seemed like he was doing really good, man. He was, and it just, I just think back to that interaction, because there for just a little bit, the work that we had been doing in the recovery classroom, myself, Drenda, Eric, Bigfoot, Bell, the whole line, the whole 9 yards of us, man, we were giving people hope. We were sharing that. We were communicating that. And it was enough hope to make a difference in somebody's life. And I look back over the last year, and I ask myself, how well did I spend the year of my life that I wasn't supposed to get? How well did I invest that time into helping other people? And I look at this young man that I was just speaking about, and I was like, you know what? I feel pretty good about that. That helps keep me sober. That helps keep me sober another day, because maybe I can reach out to you. Maybe I can convince you that recovery is possible. Unfortunately, just last night, this young man I'm talking about, I found out just last night this young man passed away. I'm not sure the details. We don't have any specifics, but it broke my heart. It broke my heart whenever I found out last night. And it still just touches me. I think back to that conversation that he and I had in that room that day. The only thing I think, truly deep down, the only thing he was after, he just wanted someone to listen. No one ever stopped to take the time to listen. And I say this all the time whenever I go into rooms. I used to say this all the time as an intro to the monologues. You never know who needs to hear what it is you have to say. You never know who needs to hear what it is you have to say. If you go into a room, into a recovery room, into a meeting, and something hits you and you don't speak up, you probably need to speak up, because you never know. Somebody else in that room may need to hear exactly what it is that you have to say. So I encourage you, don't ever sit back and be afraid, because you may run into that person just like I did. Just like I did. You may run into that person who has spent their lives in institution after institution thinking there is no hope, thinking there is no possible way that they deserve to live a clean and sober life. But it could come down to simply you making a simple choice, a simple decision to speak up, to say something, to communicate with somebody, and to reassure them that recovery is possible. All they may just be looking for is just somebody to listen. And that's fine. That's fine. I have no problem doing that. But if somebody is looking for you to listen, they're probably hoping and expecting and wanting and needing and craving just that little bit, that little glimmer of hope that recovery is possible, that they are worth it. I want to assure you today, if you have a problem with drugs and alcohol and you're questioning that yourself, reach out to someone in the classroom. One of us will be more than happy just to sit and listen to you and to assure you that you are, in fact, worth it every step of the way. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more appreciative. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed, feel free to drop it in an email to me, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. I'll take a look at it, see what I can do, see how I can parse it out. We'll be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.